After a quiet debut in Week 1 for Marvin Harrison Jr., he lit up the stat sheet in the Cardinals' blowout Week 2 win over the Rams. Harrison and Kyler Murray showing early signs of a great connection as they look to keep it rolling against the Detroit Lions this week. Here's Dan Campbell on this week's matchup in Arizona.
It's been a good week. We understand the challenge in front of us, and we've had a good week thus far, so finish it out strong today. I know us as coaches, but the players too. You could feel the urgency just in the walkthrough we just did. And, you know, I think all of us want to, spit that bad taste out of our mouth. So this is step one to get it done.
All right, so Campbell's trying to spit the bad taste out of his mouth. Dan, what do you want to see out of these Lions after struggling last week?
The pass game in the red zone has got to get better. When you're trying to figure out, okay, what are these teams, and specifically the Lions, doing a good job at? Play action's been fine. I think they got to get Amon-Ra going a little bit more consistently-wise. But in the red zone pass game-wise, Jared Goff struggling. There seems to be a disconnect between some of the stuff he's looking at and guys expecting the football. He's missing throws. The yards per attempt is way down. And they're not even trying to push the ball into the end zone. It's so often, which is abnormal for this football team. They're a run-centric, play-action-centric offense, and they got good pieces on the outside, and so much of their red zone offense feels like it's capped at like 5 yards. This is something that hopefully this weekend progresses, not only because they got to win this game, obviously, but really for the future, because this offense has been great up until the point of the red zone, and then it falls flat on its face when it comes to throwing the football.
I mean, Arizona's offense was exciting to watch. How do you expect them to attack this Lions defense?
Yeah, Dan and I have talked this week about Arizona's 13 personnel, meaning 3 tight ends on the field, and how they use that to hunt mismatches and create explosives. I expect more of that against a Lions defense that almost exclusively matches 13 personnel with their base defense, meaning 3 linebackers on the field. Alex Anzalone is injured even if he plays. Jack Campbell has struggled in coverage. If I'm the Cardinals offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing, I am drawing a giant circle around those players. Expect to see a fair amount of under center play action and a big day for Trey McBride, their star tight end.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep this. I think I'm actually going to split this video where I'm going to look at it, 1 from the Lions perspective and 2 from the Cardinals perspective. So for this one, I'm going to just really focus on the Lions. So I agree with what Dan is saying, right? If we can get back to the numbers, to the stats that he laid out. In terms of the red zone and all of that. But it's funny, like my takeaway is actually like I want to see them run significantly more. I just did not like the game plan of what they did versus the Buccaneers last week, and having Jared Goff throw that much, like I'm just not, I just was not a fan of that. I just do not think that the Lions played good enough versus the Buccaneers, and I don't think it was just because the Buccaneers are just this better team, and so that's why that's just what that looks like. That was not my read on the game, and that was one of those games, because for me, you obviously can't watch every single game live, so some of the games I watch live, some of the games I do like the replay on NFL Plus, NFL Prime. I got to figure out the actual name of it. And so this was the game that I really just watched 100% live, so you really get a sense of the flow of the game more than the replay. And everything just felt off for the Lions. Like everything just felt difficult, and it didn't feel like Detroit Lions football to me, especially the more I think about it. Honestly, the more I kind of reflect on like what to me, I'm just like, wait, what was that? Like what did I just watch? And that's honestly what Dan Campbell is in a way saying, like it was a bad taste in my mouth. It's not just the loss. Like sometimes it's just like, oh, that was a tough loss and I got to get that out of my mind. Like, no, it's like, it's really the game start to finish. And I was going to say, like, as they were saying, when they asked a question, like, okay, what do they need to do? What's going on for this game? I was thinking in my head, already like kind of like what I'll be saying, how I'm just saying like the Lions need to play great football this week. They have to. I don't think they have been playing great football. They need to do it. And I was thinking to myself, okay, well, I'm going to say that, and some Lions fans are going to get angry and be like, what do you mean, blah, 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 blah. And then Dan Campbell's like, we sense the urgency. And that's what it is. It is the urgency. It's not to say that if they lose this game, that it means it's over, they're done, their season's done. Like, I'm not saying that either. But I need to see them play back to playing Lions football, great football, start to finish. They don't have to even win this game. I just need to see them play better football. right? That week 1, it wasn't perfect, and I pointed out the fact that they were able to take advantage of a Rams team that was clearly injured on multiple fronts, but I was able to really find some of the key points that I really did find that was like championship level football. I was very impressed with, but again, I wouldn't say that was start to finish a great game necessarily. And then week 2, I kept saying this, and again, a lot of Buccaneers fans were not happy about it. I was just like, the Lions just did not play good football. Like, really, neither team really played good football. And so now we're in week 3. I need to start seeing good football, right? You need to show that last year wasn't a fluke, right? That you can play great football, right? We're expecting great elite football out of the Lions. It doesn't mean that every game is going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that every game is going to be flawless. It doesn't mean that you're going to win every game, that you can't make mistakes, that you can't turn it over, that you're not going to have some, bad moments. But I just need to see them get better than what they've been the last 2 weeks. That's just me personally, and that's why I would really love to ask directly to Detroit Lions fans, like, what do you need to see? Like, what are you feeling right now? Do you sense the urgency? Are you a little uneasy about the start of this season? Because the Lions could be 0-2. They absolutely could be 0-2 right now, right? A coin flip goes the other way, they could be 0-2. That's just the reality. So this game is going to be an interesting game, and the Cardinals have a lot of momentum, right? They obviously demolished the Rams, an injured Rams team, but they still demolished him, and Kyler Murray's looking great. And they got a lot of momentum. And even against the Bills, who are not a bad team, they lost, but they played really well against. It was a really good, physical, high-level football game. Quite frankly, the difference maker in that game was none other than Josh Allen. I think if anyone else is the quarterback for the Bills, then the Cardinals are 2-0 right now. So this is definitely not going to be an easy game. And I think Kyler Murray is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. Quite frankly, so you're gonna be facing a more difficult quarterback and a more mobile quarterback. And Baker Mayfield really, like, he had that like really highlight real juke where he really made the Lions not look too hot in that moment. They obviously sacked him a million times, but you can make the argument that was more. It was a combination between a perfect scenario between obviously the defensive line being elite and top level for the Lions, but also just a perfect storm for the Buccaneers of having being weak offensive from an offensive line perspective. So I am curious to see what it looks like with a more mobile quarterback like Kyler Murray, who obviously has a high degree of escapability. I'm curious to see if the Lions will be able to get to Kyler, make him uncomfortable, make him kind of go out of what's been making him special, honestly, these first 2 games. Can they make things just more difficult for him? Because I think if Kyler Murray's comfortable, that will be a problem. It can definitely be problematic. So again, this is one of the games that I'm definitely really, really excited for, because I'm looking more for anything. Just how do the Lions play more than anything? I'm not even going to try to reduce it down to kind of what Dan Orlovsky pointed out. To me, it's just like, are they playing better football than they have been? That's all I'm asking to see. That's really, at the end of the day, that's all I'm asking to see. See them play better football, more cohesive football, more comfortable football. And when a play and a drive goes their way, I want to feel, because the drive was great start to finish. Not, oh man, well, it was 3rd and 9 and things weren't going that well, and then they got bailed out by a penalty, right? By roughing the passer or whatever it is. Now they got the 15-yard penalty, and now that extends the drive, because the drive really was not going well, and then they got bailed out, right? Like, I'm looking for just a true, yep, we're here, let's go, we got this, everyone knows what they're doing, great play calling, great play execution, just a great drive. That's what I'm looking for, and I'm looking for that throughout the game. I just want to see a higher degree of football. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Lions versus the Cardinals? And what do you think the Lions need to do to kind of, get this on track, get back to their championship level of football? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.